Welcome back. All right, so we're up to number 29, and we're at the Anaheim Ducks. Now, technically, they're tied with the team that I will be profiling next, but they're well below that team on the power rankings. So I figured, Anaheim's number 29 because while they're tied in terms of the overall standings with the other team, if we added a couple of weeks, they're not tied. So their average 24.39 overall. They've been in the top row twice. They've been in the second row 26 times, third row 37 times, bottom row 92 times. So for the Anaheim Ducks, it's been a while. Now that first year I was doing power rankings 2017, 2018. The highest they got was ninth. They got there once. 2018, 2019, they were fifth once. And then it doesn't get that high again. They were seventh once in 2019, 2020. This year, the highest they've been is 14th. 2021, 2022, they got as high as 10th. Their lowest, bottom of the board. Bottom of the board last year 6 times, this year 4 times. So it's been a while. And their overall average this year of 26.47 is not great, but last year was 29.81, so it's actually mildly better than last year. The highest it's been on average, 17.77, which was 2017 2018, which is the last year they made the playoffs. So they went on a bit of a run there too, and then, they don't win the Stanley Cup. Their only Stanley Cup being 2007. Their top scorer during the time between 2017 and 2018 and now is Adam Henrique. 421 games played, 132 goals, 119 assists, 251 points. There's debate about how much longer Henrique's going to be in Anaheim, but he's been a good foot soldier for him. Gibson's been the top goaltender, of course. 127 wins, 161 regulation losses, 46 losses in extra time, and a save percentage of 909. And there's plenty of questions about how long he's going to be a Duck going forward as well. Who knows? By the time this goes live, maybe he's already been traded. Their points percentage overall is 28th in the NHL during this time at 456. So where they are in the points and where they are in the power rankings, very, very close. And that is how that should work. The most recent power rankings being January 20th at the time I'm recording this, they are at the bottom of the board as of that last power rankings. So the Anaheim Ducks have been in this rebuild for a while. They bring in Pat Verbeek. Verbeek clearly with a vision, but there's been discussions about how negotiations went with Zegras when they were trying to get an extension with him. Now they've traded Drysdale, a good, promising young defenseman. They've got back Cutter Gauthier. There's a lot of debate as well about Gauthier and where he's going to end up and what he's going to end up being able to do. But really, the one thing that Anaheim fans and I think the organization need to practice, and it's not easy because it's been so long since the playoffs, but it's patience. It's going to take a while. They need more young forwards in that lineup. Again, they've got some that are on the way. Zellweger just having come up, and he gets a point in his first game. You've got Minchukov on the blue line. There's good pieces there, but they need depth overall. They need depth up front on the blue line and to some extent in net, especially if they're going to trade John Gibson. I think they have to get a goalie back in that deal, but we'll see what the plan is going forward. The Anaheim Ducks are a team that, obviously the one question that gets asked too is about rebranding. It's not related to power rankings, but it's not a coincidence that I use the old Mighty Ducks for this because I do have an Anaheim Ducks bumper sticker as well, and I'm wearing the Mighty Ducks style third as well. And there was discussion a few years ago about whether or not this might be the permanent look they go to, and there'd be a white version of this as well. And then, of course, the reverse retro was kind of a white version of this. But at any rate, it's about the depth, it's about the young forwards, and it's about patience. Leo Carlsson looks like he's going to be excellent. The jury's out on Zegras, and I keep seeing people saying, do you think Zegras is going to get traded, and where's he going to go? How do you trade Trevor Zegras right now? His value is going to be low, especially considering that contract. But if he doesn't pull himself out of this funk he's in when he's in the lineup, if he doesn't start scoring goals and points on a more regular basis, his value goes down. So I don't know what they do with Zegras. I don't know what kind of return they would get for him if he was officially on the market. But would I be surprised if they moved him? In this day and age, no. I think that if the team decides, if Pat Verbeek decides this is not a setup that works, I think he'll make the move sooner rather than later. So really, there's not much to debate when it comes to where they are in the standings and where they've been. But it is interesting to see just how long the Ducks have been outside of the playoff picture. Talking about Chicago earlier, and it just kind of strikes me how long these teams have been outside the playoffs and how difficult that path back to the playoffs can be. All the teams we've talked about so far in this playlist, rebuilds. And getting out of rebuilds. How do you get out of the rebuild? Well, these four teams haven't got that path figured out yet, but I do feel like the Ducks are not as far off as the record might show. I don't know if they were as good as their 9-6 start to the season, but I don't think they're as bad as they've been since that 9-6 start. But I'd be interested to know your thoughts on the matter. How much longer is it going to take, do you think, for the Ducks to become competitive and in a playoff chase? I think it has to be next year. I think with the amount of time it's been, I think next year has to be the year where things get better. And if not, then yeah, there may need to be some changes. But what do those look like when you've got so many solid young players? Who do you move on from, or do you just try to augment that with some depth up front? There shouldn't be any cap hit problems with this team, with the salary cap going up and having a young team. They should not be in a precarious salary position, but it does tend to happen at times, doesn't it? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event that you have not at this stage. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.